Began helping the FBI as an informant at the age of 14, and today the same criminal offense would only carry a sentence of up to 3 years.
Hold down, man. Suitcase this, my cell phone and my charger. Don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building, man. Y'all go ahead, hit that like, subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. All right, today I'm gonna be speaking on someone that just got released from prison within the last week or so, I would say. I believe he got released on the 20th of this month, and that is White Boy Rick. All right, if y'all don't know who White Boy Rick is, y'all look into it after you watch this video. I'll give you a little breakdown about him and stuff, and then you look into his situation, how crazy it was. Now, White Boy Rick, for the most part, I'll break it down as he was an informant for the FBI from the age of 14 to the age of 16. For 2 years, he was a confidential informant. At the age of 17, he got caught with a couple bricks of cocaine and ended up receiving a life sentence. All right. In Michigan, he ended up doing 27 years because the laws in Michigan, if it's a high amount drug offense, it falls with a life sentence. So he ended up doing 27 years in Michigan's prison, and then he got transported for his last 5 on another offense that he caught while incarcerated down here in the state of Florida. So after 32 years, he finally just got released. But the whole crazy thing about this, and what makes me want to speak on it, is the whole reason he received this whole life sentence is the FBI didn't stand up and let them know he was a confidential informant. You get what I'm saying? And the reason they couldn't do that probably is because he was a minor at the time. He was underage. You get what I'm saying? So, of course, they probably weren't allowed to. And, you know, he ended up catching a life sentence because they kept quiet through the whole thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fall back for a minute. And I'm gonna let y'all watch a little clip or whatever. And then I'm going to break it down to y'all as best as I can. Richard Wershe Jr., known as White Boy Rick, was a federal FBI investigator informant while 14 to 16 years old. When he was 15, Wershe told the FBI that a major drug dealer had spoken of paying a bribe to Detroit detective inspector and the city council president, named Gil Hill, in order to squash the investigation into a 13-year-old boy's murder. At the age of 17, Wershe was arrested for possession of cocaine, and with no intervention from the FBI and the U.S. Attorney to tell of him being an FBI informant, at 14, he was sentenced to life in prison. In 2017, Justice campaigners publicized Wershe's case, and he was paroled, but directly to a prison in Florida to serve another 5 years for a behind-bars auto theft conviction from 2008. Campaigners for Wershe have suggested to reports that the length of his incarceration may not have been completely unconnected to him having provided the FBI with information, leading to the arrest of the family members and associates of the former detective. Not to mention, in 2016, a notorious former Detroit hitman alleged the same detective had once tried to commission the murder of Wershe. 32 years later, this is what he looks like today. See, in 2018, they actually made a movie after him called White Boy Rick. And it has a couple famous people in it like Matthew McConaughey and a couple other people. And then another one called White Boy or something like that. But for the most part, as you see, he went to prison after helping them convict 20 cases. 20 different cases he helped them convict and put away. 20 different bad gang member, violent people, or whatever it was. And then through it all, the people who he was working for didn't stand up and even say nothing on his behalf because they basically used him as a fall man to cover up everything else. They didn't like the fact that he knew so much. You know what I'm saying? He just, because, you know, once you're part of something, you eventually learn everything about it. And that's what it was. And then the one person that he actually, you know, had got them to lose their job because the person made a offer with a gang member, one of the suspects that he was infiltrating. He was infiltrating this dude, trying to take him down as a suspect or whatever, and then found out that that guy that he was actually after ended up bribing the president of a bureau into dismissing some case that had to do with a 13-year-old boy being killed. All right? And then after that, that guy lost his job, and then ever since then, you know, he got sent away for the long haul, you know? Now, there's no doubt about it, he is police. You get what I'm saying? And he's back here on these streets now. You feel me? But the way they did him at such a young age just shows, you know, like it's a dirty world. It's a dirty game.
Possession of over 650 grams of cocaine, mandatory life.
Do you believe a 15-year-old kid was working for the federal government?
But he was.
There's still a lot of angry people. Third world countries don't incarcerate like this.
Rick Wershe has spent most of his life behind bars since being convicted of a non-violent drug offense at age 17. Michigan law in the 80s called for a life sentence for cocaine possession of more than 650 grams, but was later ruled unconstitutional. Began helping the FBI as an informant at the age of 14, and today the same criminal offense would only carry a sentence of up to 3 years. Even worse, records show FBI agents at the time sidestepped rules to use Rick, only to stop returning his calls when they no longer needed help. After a movie based on his life was released, our own Carolyn Clifford sat down with Rick's sister, who acknowledged the role of local news sensationalizing Rick's story.
It was like he was a rock star, and he wasn't. But it made him more than what he was. Here they were using a child as an underage informant.
Many believe Rick was lucky to survive not only being shot at age 15, but a murder attempt by confessed Detroit hitman Nate Boone Kraft. Kraft later advocated for Rick's release in the documentary White Boy and alleged the hit was ordered by a former DPD commander because Rick knew too much about corruption and connections to the family of former Mayor Coleman Young.
He wanted us to make sure that we kill white boy Rick.
Experts say Rick's own attorneys at the original trial purposely threw the case to protect bigger drug players. Inside prison, Rick insisted the system had his body but never took his mind. While former police officers and prosecutors spent years testifying at parole hearings to keep Rick locked up, it was a former detective who later came forward to say
It was a sham.
And history has revealed a massive conspiracy of lies to keep Rick in prison because of his cooperation against corrupt public officials. In fact, helped with the largest public corruption case in the history of Detroit at the time. All of them have since been set free. Eventually in 2017, a parole board granting Rick's freedom from Michigan prison with support from Circuit Court Judge Dana Hathaway, who found no reason to keep him incarcerated.
He was kind of emotional about it.
Sadly, Rick immediately was sent to Florida to finish serving yet another unrelated sentence. Now, thanks to hard work by his attorneys, it's time for a new chapter.
Feel me? Me personally, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I know not to associate with no FBI agents. You get what I'm saying? I know not to be what he was. You feel me? But him starting at a young age, and then he didn't just start off dolo as a CI. His dad was a CI first. They used to go on missions together. And then they started doing solo missions. So he actually started being a confidential informant, and he lives by the code as a law enforcement officer to this day. Okay? And even after everything they did to him and now his whole life was behind them bars, he still, till this day, carries himself as an informant and still will do whatever he can to help the law. To me, I think it's a crazy situation. It's a crazy story because, like I said, he just basically EOS'd from Florida prison. And it touched right at home because it's my backyard, you know. But y'all go ahead and drop in the comment section. Y'all read up on it. You know, let me know what you think about White Boy Rick. You know, like, I know he's a police. Let me know what you think about as far as how they did him. How they made him take the rap and covered him up. And the charge alone only carried 3 years. And he ended up doing 32. Y'all look more into it or whatnot and drop in the comment section and let me know what it is you think. Who you think's playing a dirty game. Alright? I appreciate y'all watching this video. It's not as long. I don't really have that much to talk, speak on about it. But I just want to let the world know that that confidential informant is back out on these streets. Alright? I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're in Detroit, keep your eyes open because that's where he's staying at now. And till next time, Frog.